Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain, back for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. Today I'm joined with Darkonius, a new guildmate here, and we're going to be doing Search and Rescue. Now this quest is located here in Evening Star. In order to access Evening Star, however, um, either you would need to have been here previously on a various life and able to get the Key of Evening Star, uh, or you're a VIP, and from the character selection screen, you can actually select Travel to Forgotten Realms. Or the third way is you've completed the Lords of Dust chain. Now, anybody can do this. This is a free chain, and once you've completed that chain, it will actually get you all the way to Evening Star here. So we're going to pick that up. And for this quest, we did actually do an attempt earlier, and it was just going fairly long. So we are just going to do this on Elite. And I'm actually going to be releasing a second video after this one of the optional. And I'm just going to be doing that on a way lower difficulty because the enemies there, they had substantially ridiculous amounts of hit points for a level 15 quest. Some of them actually having up to 17,000 hit points. So it did take a little bit of time to chew through that. So for you guys, so that it's not, a 2 hour long video, we're just going to go in and do it on a lower difficulty. So the first thing is, once you get in, we have some harpies flying around, and we're also going to have some scorpions kind of poking around as well, so just watch out for them. Now the harpies are annoying because they do start up in the air, so for anyone who is melee, it can be, really, really difficult to get that hit off. There we go. Once you've done that, we do have a ramp leading down, and there will be a whole bunch of lizard folk at the bottom. On top of the lizard folk, we also have a huge nest of scorpions. So you guys are going to see that here. As soon as we pop down, alright. Moving forward, we do have a few of these little lights on the wall. Now, I love when you shoot them, it does actually dim the place. They also count as breakables. The other thing is, once you enter this room, it's going to spawn a fight with some undead enemies, including some quells. Now, if you haven't come across these guys before, they are mean, especially to any divine caster. Essentially locking them, they have an ability which can lock them out of their spells. So any divine type spell would be unable to be cast. Fortunately for me, I am arty, everything is arcane based. But obviously if you had a cleric in your party, you might want to get rid of them so they can keep healing. Now, once you take care of them, both to the left and the right, you need to head into these rooms. And again, another fight. And once you defeat the group of enemies there, there's also going to be a control orb. Now you do need to activate both control orbs, and this will open up a secret door allowing you to progress deeper inside the quest. So there they go. So here's our control orb. Now we just got to do the same on the other side. Right. And again, same thing. Kill them off. Use the orb. And there we go. Now, as you'll see, it does open up another group here. Kind of, they just come charging in at you right as soon as that opens. There we are. We'll also have these enemies here. They are helmed horrors. Now they are unique. If you look at them, these guys are both fire. After you fight them a little bit, they'll actually change what element they are. You can tell what element they are by the colors around their hands. And they'll just kind of cycle through the various elements, dealing various damage to you. But they are also healed by their respective element. So fire will heal the fire guy. One great way to just deal tons and tons of damage to them is using force damage. They are not. They are actually weak to force, and at no point do they ever become resistant like when they shift. So you'll definitely be able to do a lot of damage to them. So as you see with this guy here, we are doing some healing damage to him. But the lovely work of assassins, oh, I love them so much. They can just being able to insta kill definitely helps a party along. There we go. So once you get to the very bottom here, you do have a few more enemies. And if you are wanting to go for that full bonus, which without doing the optional, which again, we are going to be skipping in this video, again, just due to the length of the optional and just how much more difficult it is. Like you're looking at these guys, they have 2100. Those guys had 5,000 to some of those enemies 17,000 hit points. So, all right. So once you've done that, we do have a mini boss fight here. Now, once you enter the room, it will spawn a door here. Anybody else can enter in just by using Q and E and just clicking on the door. So in this fight, we do have 2 helmed horrors and a mummy. Now, the mummy is difficult because as you're fighting him, first off, he's a mummy. But as you actually deal him damage, he's going to spawn in a fairly large wave of enemies, including some quells. Yeah. So here they go. Alright. Now, as soon as he dies, you do have a few breakables around the corners. We have a collectible. As well, next to his chair here, we do have a chest. And then to the back of his chair, there is a lever. Now, this lever will open up, allowing you to proceed deeper in. And again, giving you another set of shrines. So this is where things get to be actually a little bit more difficult. So as you're progressing through the tunnels here, it will spawn in enemies. Okay, not too hard there. Some of the enemies are Umber Hulks, and these guys, this was the first quest that actually introduced them, and they are brutal. You can, of course, also head down these side paths for a few extra kills, some of which you actually do need to head down in order to get all the missing adventurers. There are a total of 5 that we do need to rescue. One of which actually being just around the corner up top there. Down this path, however, all we have is some fungus. Alright, so here's our first little adventure. Now we can actually talk to him here and get some information. But ultimately you want to just keep pushing forward. Now as you see, directly to our left, we do have a bunch of sand mephits, so just prepare yourself for that fight. Now, this is where the optional starts. It's actually down this path right here. So for this video, I won't be heading down this path. We're just going to continue heading to the others. And again, I will be releasing a second video after this one, just going through that optional and doing it on a lower difficulty, just to show you guys a lot quicker. Alright, so here's our second person. Again, they give it a little bit more information. And heading deeper in. So one thing you do gotta watch out for here is, again, there can be Umber Hulks. So just watch yourself, as if you've come across Umber Hulks before, you'll know they have several ways to just pacify you, be it knocking you down, stun locking you, and they're just overall annoying to deal with. So running into a group of them, which I'm seeing a bunch of zeros there. There we go. So we should actually have one coming around this corner here. Here we go. So as you see, this one, it doesn't have them just alone either. It does have them in groups. So as you can see, there was a total of, what, 6? Oh, and game lag. Lovely. Alright. So here we go. More enemies. And yeah, the main path is essentially this. It's, you come to the openings, kind of to a split, and it'll have a group of enemies, usually undead or lizard folk. And all along the while, we come across these random paths that have Umber Hulks. Alright, so from here, we are going to head through this door here to the north. Now, for me, I find this door annoying because as a range type character, you don't really have a large space to be able to kite them. As soon as you pull them up the ramp here, they're out of range. You can't really see them other than right at the bottom. All right. But at the bottom here, we do have this guy. Now, what I like about this fight here is actually really cool. If you do not enter that end room, you'll see these three kobolds are just standing around. You can't actually target them. However, you can target the big bad boss. So if you are a ranged character, you can actually sit here and kill the guy that has 12,000 as he's essentially stuck in position. Now, once he's dead, you can head in there, wipe up the last of them. Or, if you happen to use Meteor Swarm. But again, we took him down such a large portion of his health that it was super easy to finish off the rest of them. Now, again, in the room, we have another one. Now, it does have a few options. You don't want to select leave. You can rummage through his pouches, which will, I believe, give you a potion. Oh, no, he was already looted from the kobolds. But eventually, you just gotta select the option to just say, hey, I found you, and move on. Alright. Now, at this point, you are going to come across a little hole in the ground. You can hop in. It does have a shrine. As well, the second ladder here will have another lost adventurer that we can talk to. At this point, you should only have one last adventurer to talk to. And this is actually going to be the last set of shrines before the end fight. So do take care on when you use this, as there is still a kind of a mini fight to do, as well as the actual act of getting down to the bottom. Alright, once you're done that, just head on up the ladder, and of course we're going to continue down our path. This is the main section of this quest is quite straightforward, and it'll actually culminate into this section here. Now in here, as you can see, lots of lava, so fire resistance is almost a must. And then we'll have our end fight, which is actually going to be a red dragon. So it definitely helps to have some fire resistance for that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pop that on, and I'm going to get their attention. So it's not super hard to this point. Alright. So now that that's dealt with, we can get a little bit deeper in. And like our fight with the mummy, as soon as we enter in our main room here, it will kind of create a barrier, locking us in. So here we are. And just like before, just kind of Q&E the door. And there you go. So this one here, we have a giant red dragon. And an objective to kill the dragon. Now, what I want to point out is as you are fighting said dragon, eventually, once he reaches a specific hit point amount, he will spawn in additional enemies. So here we go. So you just gotta kind of wait for him to finish talking. Now the enemies, when they spawn them in, they are gonna come in from that side and kind of all over the place. But yeah, it's a pretty standard beatdown. But again, standard beatdown for a dragon, still kind of brutal. Alright, so there we go. There's our kobolds. Now, I do recommend killing off the kobolds as fast as you can. They do come in, as you see, with shamans. Oh, and they came in from multiple directions. I forgot about those other ones. Alright, there we go. So once that is done, you're going to want to go ahead and head on into the center, talk to our last person, and it will give us completion. So there we are, 28,000. It only took 21 minutes. But again, there is a huge optional for a lot of additional XP, as well as some named loot. Now you can also get some named loot out of this chest, so I will be re-rolling here to see if we can't get ourselves some. Alright, so I was able to get the Heartwood. There's a non-Warforged one as well. So the loot in this one overall isn't super amazing. I think there's like one item that's, you know what, not half bad. And I can actually pass that to Darkonis because I have no need for it. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you want to watch that optional, stick around and we'll be doing a second video right after this. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.